Hello, this is Sergey from ProperSoft, and this video shows how to work or how to convert CSV files. Once you load a CSV file inside the application, you should see some transactions already, and as the converter understands the most CSV transaction formats correctly. And the first thing to do is to set output format. So you do need to set output format as it defines which columns you're working with. So if you need to convert to QAF file, set that you set on the right sidebar that you are converting to QAF. So second thing to mention is that you can click on the source tab to see your CSV file or Excel file, the contents. And you can see that this CSV file has the first line as column names: date, amount, payee, memo, check. If your CSV file does not have those the column names, I highly recommend to add them and to be as common as you can be, like date, amount, and dates. If you have several date columns, then mark clearly date columns you would like to be picked up, and other date columns just leave as some other name. And each row in the CSV file after column names is expected to be whole transaction, so one line is one transaction. And so as you can see, this file was on after mapping, which means that the converter will try to figure out itself how to map this file. It sees there's date column, amount column, payee column, memo column, and it quite easily can map them for the conversion. Some CSV files are not clear, like they may have a lot of columns, and columns may have different meanings, and you may need to do manual mapping. So for that, after you load it, CSV file or Excel file, click Review Mapping, and this mapping window has two parts. The left part is to do mapping, and the right part is to look at data. So the set of these fields is defined by the output format. So for QAF you would have all these items, and more. So let's say for QFix or OFX or QBO, you would have a different set. Yeah? So there's few drop downs. So for date, this is date field, amount field, deposit, withdrawals. This is how it will be used by the application to create output files. And those are your input column names in your CSV file or Excel file. So, and you can see the converter map them more or less correctly. So what else you can do as part of mapping? You can say that this, if you know this is credit card file and amounts are reversed, you can say to the converter, please reverse them, by setting this checkbox. Then it will reverse it for you as part of mapping. Then you can set output account type to be used here, and again, depending on the format, if it's OFX or QAF, there could be different things, but you can set them like account ID, bank ID, things like that, currency, and you can set them and save as part of mapping. Then when you select this mapping, all these settings will be set as soon as you select mapping. And the last thing, so once you save the mapping, it will be available here to quickly select and apply. And the last thing in this video to talk about is, so this panel will show up when you load a CSV file or Excel file, and you can set here like input dates, which order. You see there is no like date or year, like 4 digits or 2 digits. There is just the order. So the order in which dates the order how dates are presented in your CSV file. So you would say my dates are months, day, year, or day, months, year, or year, months, date. In 90+ cases, the converter will figure out itself what the date format is. But in some cases, let's say it's January 1st, January 2nd, like up to 13, there is not quite, you cannot for sure say what are those dates. Are those January dates, or they just first day of each month's dates, which could be both cases. And in this case, you can tell the converter my dates are this way. Another thing to apply, if you are like if your file could have some non-Latin characters, you may need to play with this thing depending on how your CSV file is supplied. Usually auto mapping does quite few things to figure out the encoding of your CSV file, and then next thing to try is UTF-8, and then if it's very specific, you can try one of those things if you know they are in those encodings. And another thing is, so in this file we have comma as field separator, and it could be other thing like tab or semicolon for some other countries than US. And again, the converter will try to detect and figure out by itself what the field separator is, and if it is confused, you can tell it which one to use. And once you change any of those settings, any of those three, you can click apply to reload the file. And one more thing to talk about is that you can copy paste from Excel. So instead of saving file, you could go to Excel, and then you would select, similar to this table, you could select area in Excel and just press Ctrl+C or Command+C, and then you would click paste, and paste would paste data instead of loading the file. So that's another way. So you could work in Excel, edit your transactions, then select them, copy them to clipboard, and then paste them in the converter. Thank you for watching.